Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, y'all already know I do it every single time because it is so important. I want our community to grow. And listen, it's because it's the best community on these internet streets. It is hands down. If you have been coming over, listening to the podcast, having a good time in the comments, and you still hadn't subscribed, this is what you need to do. Go down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine. That beast, that algorithm, it has me by my neck and dragging me. But I will get back on top. Also, I just want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to all the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Y'all always do a bang up job, and I appreciate it so very much. And also, look in the corner right here. That's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I would be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. If you just want to do a one-time donation, look around, find that super thanks button, click it, because every time you decide to support the channel, it's always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some shout outs. We do. And first up is my girl, Yulette. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about Yulette anymore. She is just so wonderful, so kind, so supportive. She is just everything. She is the definition of a ride or die. She is always riding hard for the read, and I always appreciate her for that. She's just everything. So thank you, Yulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for being such a huge support for the read. I appreciate it so very much. And next up is Miss Jane Press. Jane is everything. She is. She has been with me since the beginning, and she never wavers in her support. She never has. She is always coming through with support. She is always coming through with the love. She is always in the comments. I mean, she is just a support. She is. She never wavers, and I appreciate her so much. She is the quintessential ride or die. She is everything, and I am so thankful to have her. So thank you, Jane. Thank you for the super thanks. Thank you for riding so hard with the read. Thank you for showing up every day. Thank you for being just everything. So thank you. And thank you for being here. All right, y'all. With all that said, listen, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. Y'all, I want to give another quick shout out to my girl Yulette and the wonderful Jane Press. I appreciate y'all so very much. Thank you for riding with the read. All right, y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, that is where I have been, and it has been a very interesting day, I must say, because today was day 3 of the court case of Prince Harry versus the Daily Fail. Yes, and Prince Harry took the stand today. He did, and let me tell you, he was not fearful of anything. He was fearless, and I enjoyed every bit of the reporting that came out from his testimony. It seems that Prince Harry reached down and snatched the soul of that Daily Fails lawyer, had him stumbling up in there and trying to perpetrate lies, and Prince Harry was not having none of it. And we gonna talk about that. And we got some other stuff we want to talk about too, some little stuff from Beatrice and Eugenie, and even from Zara. Yes, she been up to something, and we're gonna talk about that as well. So let's get started. We're not gonna keep you long. I know it's probably been a long day, but we got to talk about it, and it is going to be entertaining. And I'm going to put this up. This squatty is posting about day 3 and says this: Prince Harry arriving at the High Court to give evidence. No matter what the outcome of this case, I couldn't be prouder of his courageous soul. His mother must be smiling down from heaven. Yes, Harry came into the courtroom. It was raining. Harry was walking in the rain and never acted as if the rain was bothering him. Harry came prepared, and you can tell the way he was walking, the way he was carrying himself. Harry came to slay all dragons today. And from the reports that we are getting from inside of the courtroom about Harry's testimony today, yes, he came and he did exactly that. From what I understand, he had that Daily Fail barrister all up in his feelings, yes, and he did not know which way to go. He had Prince Harry scheduled for cross-examination for the whole day, and he hurried up and got Prince Harry out of there in 2 hours, in a little over 2 hours. He was done with Harry because Harry was pushing back on all of the nonsense. Harry was in there hard to handle. Yes, he was. He was not going to let them bully him or push him around. And once that Daily Mail barrister understood that Harry wasn't going to be pushed around, he hurried up and wrapped it up. So yes, yes, yes. Harry was in and out in under 3 hours. Yes, they came in there with that weak defense, and Harry absolutely just went through it as if it was paper. He cut right on through, and they were done with him. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I love it. And I'm going to put this up. This came from Harry's spokesperson after Harry left the stand after the cross-examination. They said this: today's cross-examination was revealing in its weakness, assertive in the tone, but collapsing immediately under the scrutiny from Prince Harry. Harry tore him out the frame. He did. He said Associated couldn't wait to get him off the stand, questioning him for just 2 hours and avoiding 10 of his 14 articles entirely. Spokesperson. Yes, they didn't even question Prince Harry on 10 of the 14 articles. I mean, how can you defend yourself when you are not defending yourself? Looked like they would systematically go through each and every one and defend each and every one. It's as if they gave up on the 10. What y'all think about that? Harry came to slay. I'm telling you. Once they got Harry on that stand, and Harry was absolutely so in control of what was happening around him and within that courtroom and in that process, they knew that they had to get Harry up out of there as quickly as possible, and that's exactly what they did. And the squatty posted this little snippet from an article. Now, they did not say where the article came from, but it did talk about Prince Harry and what happened in court, and the statement that Prince Harry made and his spokesperson made. It says, today we reminded Mail Group who is on trial, Harry said. Harry said, I want you to know it's not me on trial, it's you on trial. And Harry came in the courtroom and made that very clear. Yes, he did. It says, we just had a statement come in from Prince Harry and his spokesman. It says, after giving evidence today, but not the whole day, as Associated newspapers finished their questioning sooner than anticipated, his spokesman said. Yeah, they absolutely hurried Harry along because Harry was not playing with them. And it made the statement that I read just a while ago. That's what the spokesperson said. And then it says, Prince Harry, meanwhile, offered a shorter statement saying, today we reminded the news group who is on trial and why. Y'all, I love Harry. I do. Harry said, I'm going to remind you that it's you on trial and why you on trial. Yes, because you are a dirty, dirty dog. Yes, I love it. I love it, y'all. And I'm going to put this up. This squatty says court is already finished for the day because the Daily Mail's cross-examination of Prince Harry by Anthony White was unprepared, weak, and full of inaccurate information, which Harry called them out on. Y'all, Harry was up in there being a boss. He was. He was not letting them get away with anything. Don't y'all wish we could have seen it? I would have just loved that. I would have just loved if they had cameras in the courtroom on this day of all days. I'm just saying. And this squatty goes on and says, that's it, folks. And they're talking about this was the Daily Mail's defense. It says that's their defense against Prince Harry, and did a laughing emoji because their defense is laughable. Let's go over it, y'all. And it says Daily Fail's defense against Prince Harry. And it says the Daily Fail's journalists were Harry's friends. Yes, they're saying that all of these flying monkeys that have written all of these horrible things about Harry were really Harry's friends. Yes. Harry's friends was leaking on him, but it wasn't the friends that he went to school with, that was in his day-to-day life. No, it was not those friends. It was his journalist friends. These people are crazy. I mean, that is some nonsense. If I have ever heard any nonsense, that's it. Because I guess they're trying to get us to believe that the flying monkeys was actually Harry's friend. It says the Daily Mail's journalists were Harry's friends, laughing my A off. It says, even though Harry has made his disdain for tabloid reporters known for decades. Exactly. Harry has never played with them like that. He has always acted as if he was Mariah Carey and those journalists were Jennifer Lopez. Y'all know what I always be saying about that. They asked Mariah Carey about Jennifer Lopez, and Mariah said, I don't know her. I don't know her at all. And that's the way Harry has always dealt with those flying monkeys over there. He has had nothing but disdain for them ever since they tormented and tortured and killed his mother. And it says the Mail was not able to provide any proof of these fake friendships. Of course they couldn't, because it was nothing but a lie. I mean, how can you present evidence for something that never happened? It's no emails. It's no personal accounts of Harry inviting them to a party or just hanging out with them. It's none of that. If it wasn't doing an official royal engagement, Harry had nothing to do with these people. But yet and still, here the Mail is trying to blow smoke up this judge's robe and try to pretend like Harry had some kind of friendship with the very people who killed his mother. It's ridiculous. And it says the male got many details wrong, such as saying that he met Charlotte Griffith in Ibiza when Harry had never been to Ibiza until he went with Meghan. Yes, saying that Harry had met with this flying monkey, Charlotte Griffith, in Ibiza, and Harry had never even been to Ibiza. At least not until he met Meghan. But yet and still, they had the nerve to try to put that in there. All I can say is that right there discredit you. It really does. Why are you saying that this flying monkey has some kind of relationship with Harry, that they met up at Ibiza, this island nation, but yet and still Harry had never been there? Did y'all think Harry wasn't gonna say nothing about it? Did you think that it was just gonna slide? I mean, it makes no sense. And Charlotte Griffith maybe just lied to them about that and got them up in the courtroom looking like a fool. This is the same woman who absolutely loses her SHIT when Harry calls Meghan his wife and Meghan calls Harry her husband. Yeah, that's Charlotte Griffith. Yeah, she out here lying and evidently lying to her employers about Harry. Yes, these flying monkeys are never ever to be trusted. I'm just saying. And then it said Harry should have worked with Hacked Off, even though Harry didn't learn about them until after 2020. And even if he had known earlier, the palace wouldn't have let him. So I guess their defense is that Harry had another option instead of suing them, that maybe he could have gotten some kind of relief by being involved with this group. I think Hacked Off is a group that Hugh Grant, the actor, started. And so I am a little confused about that one. And then it says Harry should have brought the claim sooner. When, though, Harry had no knowledge of the illegal info gathering until 2020, especially because the Mail lied in the Leveson report. And y'all know plenty of those flying monkeys, when they had to give testimony in those Leveson hearings, they lied. They lied. We all know that Piers Moron, he lied, and he has been proven to have lied. And Harry has proven him out to be a liar, but still they hadn't done anything to him. One of the readers that were in the comments yesterday made such a great point and said, isn't it interesting that Piers Moron that Piers Moron was injured. He injured himself prior to this court case getting started. Yeah, it is really interesting. I'm just saying, I have no pity or sympathy for him because of it, but it's definitely interesting. But yes, I cannot believe these people. Harry has proven this point prior. If they could have proven that Harry had knowledge of what was going on prior to 2020, they could have stopped this whole case. They didn't have any evidence that Harry knew anything. And Harry and his legal team was able to convince the judge that he had no knowledge of it. And that is the reason why they are where they're at today. So this to me makes no sense. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but very, very interesting defense, I must say. And as Harry's spokesperson said, very weak. Very, very weak. And I'm going to put this up because another name has popped up today. Another one of these flying monkeys that Harry said was sourcing information in a way that they could not have been doing it legitimately. Now, this particular squatty is posting about it, and it says, another Daily Mail stalker and blagger enters the chat. Barbara Jones. I don't know her. Now, maybe I have seen an article or two by her and she just hasn't stuck in my head. Or maybe this was something when Harry was younger and I wasn't following him like that. But her name does not ring a bell with me. I don't know. It is so many of these flying monkeys. My mind is a purple haze with them. I can't keep up with all the names, but don't. I really don't think that I have ever heard of Barbara Jones. But it says current list: Caroline Graham, Rebecca English, Katie Nichols, Charlotte Griffiths, and Barbara Jones. It says, notice how the Daily Mail's lawyers hide behind words like likely because they have no proof. They came to court with no proof. And Harry and his lawyers came with all the receipts and all of the swag. And I'm going to put this up because this is Prince Harry talking about this Barbara Jones and how she just popped up out of nowhere. And he said it was not possible for her to do that, with information that was readily available in the public. It says one male journalist movement felt like full-blown stalking, Harry tells court. And it says she turned up at places where no one could possibly know where I was. In his witness statement, the prince writes that Jones would turn up to everything he had to do in Africa. It felt like full-blown stalking, he says. White says there was often packs of journalists at royal occasions. Now, White is the Daily Mail's barrister. He's saying that she just turned up at royal occasions. But this is what Harry said. But Prince Harry says this was different and speaks about the incident in Malawi in 2017 when Jones allegedly arrived across the river from him. The AL lawyer then says it's likely Jones turned up and made inquiries on the ground with local staff, but Harry says he believes she blagged a local ranger instead. This woman was stalking Harry all the way in Africa. And they're trying to make excuses. She just happened to be there in Africa where he was across the river. Stop it. And this squatty said Rebecca English lied via counsel in court. Yes. I mean, all of these people who had said all these things, and these barristers had the nerve to bring them to court, and Prince Harry's barrister and Prince Harry shot them down one by one. Like Charlotte Griffin saying that she was in Ibiza with Harry. That was shot down. And then Big Back Becky saying that her and Harry were friends. This squatty says Rebecca English lies via counsel in court, now wanted for unlawful information gathering against Prince Harry and lying that she and Harry were friends, of all royals to claim friendship with in order to get out of a legal mess. Prince Harry is not the one. If she was a friend, who needs enemies? Exactly, because she has written some hit pieces. I mean, some gut punching articles about Harry and his wife. I mean, if this is a friendship, I would hate for someone to hate me. And this squatty says the Daily Mail's idiot lawyer, Anthony White, is trying to tell Prince Harry he had a good relationship with Big Back Rebecca English. And y'all, I have to laugh at that Big Back part. Yes. I think that came from here. It maybe didn't come from here. I don't know, but I love calling her Big Back Becky. But I digress. It says Harry had no say in which journalists covered his engagements. Being professionally civil is not the same as having a good relationship. And as you can see in the highlighted portion, this is what Harry said about Big Back Becky claiming to be his friend. Harry said, it says, Prince Harry chuckled. No, I did not have a good relationship with Miss English. Quite the opposite. Yeah, it was the opposite. And who made it that way? Her. Because she refused to be a fair journalist. She preferred to be Willis Fluffer. I'm just saying. And this, what he said, the BBC News reported on Prince Harry's evidence in court today, including his response to Katie Nichols suggesting that she was close to him. And Katie Nichols, this is what she claimed. She claimed because she was at some parties with Prince Harry that they were close. Yes, that she was saying that she was in Harry's circle of friends. And Harry said no. You know, if he happened to be at a party where she was, he just happened to be at a party where she was. It didn't mean anything. He did not associate with her in any form or fashion. This was a non existent relationship that Katie created in her fevered mind. Now, Harry didn't say it that way, but I'm saying it that way because Harry absolutely rebuked every bit of that. And they covered it on the BBC. How embarrassing for Katie. Yes, Katie wanted to be a part of the royal circle, and Harry was saying, no, no, you never were a part of my circle or any other person that I knew about. You just happened to be somewhere. Yes, I mean, it is ridiculous. These people, it just seems like they will do anything just to be adjacent to royalty. I mean, it is crazy to me. I guess maybe because I am an American, but boy, it just seems so crazy and brainwashed to me. I mean, these are just people. Just happen to be born into a particular family. Nothing special. Why are you saying and lying and maneuvering, trying to be around them? And she clearly in her mind, maybe, really felt that she and Harry were in the same social circles. And somehow, because of that, she was his friend and was close to him. You can't make this SHIT up. And here she is on national television being embarrassed by Prince Harry. Oh, how embarrassing. I may even have secondhand embarrassment for Katie because Harry just absolutely reached out and snatched her soul. He did. Harry said, I don't know her. I love it. And I'm going to put this up, and this is what Miss Imogene James is talking about how Prince Harry addressed Katie Nichols in court. She says, Prince Harry, speaking about Katie Nichols, says, I am not friends with these journalists. I've never been. Focusing on Katie Nichols, who was a royal correspondent for the Mail on Sunday, White put it to Prince Harry that she was a part of his social circles. The Duke disagrees. White then suggests Nichols met Prince Harry personally at a party in 2003, which he was hosting at Kensington Palace. He alleged Prince Harry invited her. The prince said he's sure he didn't invite her in, but he remembers the party. White and the Duke agree she was at various parties around this time within his social circles. Mrs. Nichols made a career out of turning up at these events and making it seem like she had these sources, the Duke said. And then it goes on and says White alleged that she would go to the same or similar nightclubs as the prince and polo games. And Harry said everybody knew who she was, so nobody was loose-lipped around her, the Duke goes on to say. If the sources were so good and she was hanging out with all my friends, Then why was she using private investigators? He argued with the lawyer. Yes, snatch his soul, Harry. Harry reached down and snatched his soul with that one. Because, yeah, if she was getting all the information she needed from Harry's friends, why was she employing a private investigator? Good point, Harry. Harry was not playing with them. That's the reason they made Harry get off that stand after 2 hours. They were sick of him because he was absolutely prosecuting them like he was a lawyer as well. I love it. I love it for Katie because she has been exposed. She has. Harry absolutely put her in her place, didn't he? He said, I don't know you. We ain't cool like that. I don't like you. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I know that hurt. I mean, and then on national television, Harry did nothing but embarrass her. To have it all over the national news that you really don't have it like that. And that is the reason why I hope Katie is sent packing from here in America because she has been proven to be a fake and a fraud. Harry has put her on blast and shown us that she just don't have it like she says she has it. When she gets on ET talking all of her nonsense about the royal family, in actuality, she's pulling it out of her butt. And the squatty that posted this said, remember how the Daily Fail said that Prince Harry's friends leaked info? Well, now they're saying that those leaky friends were their own journalists like Katie Nichols. You have to have worms in your brain to believe that. Of course, the Duke hit back at those idiotic claims, and that's what we just talked about. Yes, Harry said no, not today, not today. He absolutely came well prepared for these idiots. They embarrassed themselves. And this squatty says the more you hear how these journalists acted around Harry, the more you understand why they took such great personal pleasure in trying to railroad Meghan. They deluded themselves into thinking that they were his friends. We joked that these itches wanted him, but bruh, exactly. Exactly. And that is the same way it is with the ugly old hags. Like I was telling y'all about those two dudes that are twins in my last podcast. They act like Meghan took something away from them. They really, in their fevered minds, felt like they had a shot at Harry. And Harry was not even going to give them the time of day. But yet and still, they feel some kind of way because Meghan has it all. And we all know that that covenant of witches over there at the Daily Fail, ain't nobody got any kind of a decent relationship between them. But that is the reason why they so mad. But I agree with this squatty. And this squatty said, the more you hear about how those Daily Fail female journalists acted around Prince Harry, the more you understand how creepy Daily Mail lawyers is too. They were those mature women stalking a young man. Why is the lawyer forcing this delusional, creepy vibe friendship angle? Because they don't have any defense other than that. They're just throwing stuff up against the wall and seeing what could possibly stick at this point because they don't have a defense. If anything that we learned today is that they don't have a defense. How can you have 14 articles and you only ask your major witness about 4 of them? You don't have a defense. And then when you asked him about them, you come up with nonsense, what we have just discussed, talking about these people were his friends. These journalists was his friends. I mean, it makes no sense. It's creepy. It's creepy. I agree with this squad. And I'm gonna put this particular squatty is talking about the last thing that Prince Harry said in court and how heartbreaking it was. And how heartbreaking it was for Harry. And this particular squatty posted this and said, "They made my wife's life an absolute misery," said Prince Harry, his voice cracking. These could be his last ever words in a UK courtroom, and it was a reminder how much his family has been a part of this battle. He has been very protective of his wife Meghan and their children, and claims about press intrusion into his relationship with Meghan was very much a part of their acrimonious departure from the UK when they moved to the US in 2020. In terms of his family, Harry's attack on the misbehavior of the press goes right back to the harassment of his mother, Diana, which has always seemed to be a deeply felt motivation in his long struggle with the press. How could it not be? How could it not be? They took his mother away from him because of their nonsense. The overzealous pursuit of her killed her. So why wouldn't he feel that way? I'm just saying. And the squatty that posted this said, "Somber words from Prince Harry. They've made my wife's life a absolute misery," said Prince Harry with his voice cracking, sad and infuriating. The UK media and tabloids decided that Harry and Meghan are their meal ticket and they will bully them daily to fund their lifestyles. Where is the lie? Harry and Meghan has become their meal ticket because the other ones over there can't get a click between them. But Harry and Meghan put their name in any headline, the clicks will come. And that is the reason why those people are trying to have the bullying and the vilification of Harry and Meghan as their business plan. Yes, they are building their business around the hate of Harry and Meghan, stirring it up, making money off of it. And that's all it is. They could care less about Harry and Meghan as human beings. It's their meal ticket. It really is. But they don't understand that they also have a meal ticket over there as well, and it's not Harry and Meghan. It's telling the truth about what's going on with that family. Write the stories that you know will sell the papers because they're true, not because of something you made up to stir up hate about a couple who didn't even live in the country. All right, I'm going to put this up, and this is what ABC News posted here in America. It says Prince Harry, the younger son of King Charles III, took the stand Wednesday in London's courtroom, becoming emotional in his testimony and invoking the experiences of his wife and his late mother. What a terrific headline. And the squatty that posted this said this: "One thing Prince Harry will never let these hoes forget. He will defend his mother and his wife till the end of time." Where is the lie? Harry don't play about his mother's memory, and he doesn't play about his wife and kids. Harry doesn't play about his family. And it says every court case he has had, he's reminded the media that he will never get his foot off of their necks for what they did to his mother and what they continue to do to his wife. Where is the lie? Because y'all know Harry said this before all of this started to go down, that if they had only left his wife alone, he was going to be willing to let it slide. But they just kept on and almost drove Meghan to the point where she wanted to unalive herself. And Harry had to watch that. He had to watch it from his mother, and then he had to watch it from his wife. And Harry meant that it was not going to go down like it did with his mother, with his wife. He was too little to do anything about it when his mother was going through it. But he meant that it was not going to happen to his wife if he had anything to say about it. Now, this is a man. This is a man among men. And I'm going to put this up. And this squatty posted what Prince Harry said in his witness statement. And it says, Harry's witness statement is published. And it goes on and says, as the back and forth continue, we received a copy of Prince Harry's witness statement. In it, he outlines his reasons for bringing the case against the Mail's publisher. He says, following the death of my mother in 1997, when I was 12 years old, and her treatment at the hands of the press, I have always had an uneasy relationship with them. However, as a member of an institution, the policy was to never complain or never explain. There was no alternative. I was conditioned to accept it. However, in the late 2016, when my relationship with Meghan, my now wife, became public, I started to become increasingly troubled by the approach of not taking action against press in the wake of vicious harassment of and intrusive, sometimes racist articles concerning Meghan. He said this case is about holding to account the journalists, executives, and editors he said has used unlawful information gathering against him. And then it goes on into some stuff from the news media. But this particular squatty that posted it said they should have left this man's wife alone. Exactly. Exactly. And then the one that reposted it said, you don't mess with a man's wife. Harry is saying this is the reason why he started this, because they would not leave Meghan alone. And can you blame him? You cannot blame him for it. And I'm going to put this up because this squatty posted another post from Imogene James, and it's fascinating what she is saying, what Harry said in court. And it says, through the course of this litigation, Prince Harry says it's only gotten worse, not better for him in his life. He said all he and the claimants want is an apology and accountability. That's all they had to do. But now they're going to have to come out of their pockets. I really believe it is going to be big, because these people do not have a defense. Now, this whole court case is supposed to go on 9 weeks, but we have a whole lot of other plaintiffs that are going to have to testify as well. So that will make it a longer trial as well. But I really feel if it goes like it has gone for Harry in his testimony, these people are going to have to come out of pocket, and they're going to open that floodgate that I have been talking about, where so many more people are going to sue them. They are going to absolutely break the bank on these people. And it's all their fault, because all they had to do was apologize and take accountability, and they refused to do that. What a dumb move. What a dumb move. They could have saved themselves all of this, but they chose not to, because for some deluded reason, they think they have some kind of journalistic integrity that they have to defend. And in reality, people know that the Daily Fail is a rag. So here they are stuck. And because of that, they're going to have to come out of pocket. And it is going to continue. It is people lined up behind Harry and all these other plaintiffs ready to go. The Daily Fail is going to fail. It is. And it's going to be at its own hand, because it could not admit that they are a rag and they have been lying on these people, and they have been doing all these dirty, dirty tactics to get information on these people. So, yeah, I am happy. I am happy that they chose not to just apologize and take accountability, because I want them to slip on down the drain. And it says, and it's awful that he is being made to give evidence and bring it all up again. Exactly. I mean, this man has been tortured his whole life, and he's still having to give evidence and bring it up again, all over again, because these people could not accept responsibility for what they did. They had to continue to lie. They could not take accountability. And it says the worst part of sitting up there in the witness box, he said, is that ANL has made my wife's life an absolute misery. He gets visibly emotional delivering the final sentence, his voice breaking. That marks the end of Prince Harry's evidence. He bows and leaves the court. And the squatty that posted this said, "This is not about money for Harry. It never is. No backhanders will ever cut it. He is a man who is seeking justice, accountability, and truth, a prince with a heart. Where is the lie?" It is not about money for Harry. He made that perfectly clear while he was in the witness box. He just wanted an apology and accountability, and they wouldn't even give him that. So they deserve to come out of the pocket. And this squatty finishes up and says, "As for the scum of the earth journalists, we will never forget your names. Where is the lie? Where is it? We will never, ever forget your names, Rebecca, Big Bag Becky. No, we will never forget your name, Katie Nichols, Barbara Jones, and who was the other one? Charlotte Griffin, and the rest of those flying monkeys over there. We absolutely know exactly who they are. And the Sussex squad has been such a huge part in showing them up for exactly what they are. That is the reason why they keep coming after us. But since we have no central location, they can't do anything about it. But you best believe they know that we know exactly who they are. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up because it looks like the minute they realized that it wasn't going to work with their whole plan of saying that these journalists got their information from Harry's friends and Harry was friends with them, then they came back with this. This particular squad posted this and said, "Well, I'll be damned. The Daily Mail went from our sources were unnamed friends to never mind, it was your own family who leaked your every move. Lord have mercy." Yes, and it says, "Oh my effing God." The effing Daily Mail lawyer told Harry that it was the palace who leaked information about Harry to the effing Daily Mail. Last time Harry said that, the Daily Mail said that it was attacking the royal family. The audacity of it all. Yes, they admitted it in court that Harry's own family was leaking stories to them. We know the Mirror said the same thing. And yet and still, they always say that Harry and Meghan, when they say that that family was planning stories and leaking stories, that they were attacking that family. No, they were telling the truth about that family. And now here it is, another receipt. And it's receipt after receipt after receipt. We have heard it time and time again that it is that family planning stories, creating stories. And here we have another receipt, another confirmation that that family is just as guilty as those flying monkeys over there when they are pursuing and abusing Harry and Meghan. This squatty says when Meghan and Harry went and said the palace was briefing the media against them, the same media said, "How dare you say that? Stop attacking the royal family." But every time Prince Harry takes the same media to court for phone hacking, their answer, "It was the palace who told us." There you go. Exactly. Every time. Every time. So I don't want to hear about Harry and Meghan attacking that family, because Harry and Meghan are not the ones doing the attacking. And they are still attacking Harry and Meghan to this day. To this day, they continue to plant stories to stir up hate against Harry and Meghan. So miss me. Miss me with this nonsense, because we have the receipts. And it's not just ordinary receipts that we got out of a newspaper or some article somewhere. These are court documents. These people are saying this in a court of law. I mean, you can't get any more legit when it comes to receipts than that. And this squatty says, "Prince Harry, you can go home now. You showed up, you spoke out, and now it's the UK's turn. History is watching. It's up to the people and the legal system to either side with evil or get off their knees to stand for good. History will remember what you did here today." Yes, it will. Harry made history, and boy, did he knock it out of the park. His testimony knocked it out the park, to the point where they were ready for him to get off the stand. I love it. I do. And I agree with this squatty. It's time for Harry to go home. He has done everything he can do. He absolutely slayed the dragons. Now it's up to the rest to slay theirs. And I'm just going to say this. If the rest of the planet's testimony is like Harry's, and the Daily Mail's defense was like it was today, they're going to win. I am very confident that they're going to win, because the Daily Mail is guilty and Mr. Sherborne is bringing the receipts. And I have to admit, I smell a victory. I really do. If it continues to go like it's going, I don't see how they cannot win. I'm just saying. And I want to put this up, and it's a video of these journalists that are standing in line just waiting for Harry to come out of court. And someone is filming them, and I'm telling you, the line goes all the way up the block and around the corner. And this particular squatty posted that video and said Prince Harry's presence have people standing out in the rain to get a glimpse of him going to court. They claim he's irrelevant, though. Yes, I don't know too many people standing in the rain to see someone irrelevant, because this video is amazing. I mean, it is people out there with their babies, and they have these rain covers on their prams. I'm telling you, people was out for Harry. They really was. And I must admit, I love seeing it. And I'm going to put this up. This is from Good Morning Britain, and they're talking about Eugenie and how she has decided to sever all contact with her father and her mother. And it is surprising to me. It's very, very shocking, but it has happened, because you know this was planted. You know that they did not report this unless it was approved. And it says this: Princess Eugenie has reportedly severed all contact with her father, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. It's understood she didn't pay him a visit at Christmas and is refusing to speak to him. Her father's refusal to apologize to the victims of JE is said to be behind her decision to cut him off. Royal commentator Afua Hagen and psychologist Dr. Pam Jarvis discuss whether Eugenie is right to ditch Andrew. Now, I listened to this panel discussion and they were in agreement that she should cut him off. But somehow they just cannot get their head around that whole concept of going no contact with a parent when it comes to Megan. Megan's father has not done what Andrew has done, but he has done enough. Yes, he has done enough for Megan to be justified in cutting him off, but they do not extend that grace to Megan. But yes, Eugenie has decided to cut both her parents off. What y'all think about that? And this squatty says, so is Eugenie just going to pretend that she, along with her mother and sister, didn't visit J.E. in New York after his release from prison? And according to the email from J.E. to his lawyer, Fergie was the first to celebrate my release with her two daughters in tow. Yes, yes, yes. I guess Beatrice is going to have some kind of form of amnesia. Or at least she wants the public to have some form of amnesia. Because it is no washing this dirty laundry. It is out there for everyone to see. Yes, that email. It absolutely smeared that whole family. But wait a minute, this is another twist to the whole thing. Now, while Eugenie is cutting her father and her mother off, Beatrice is not. Beatrice is standing with her father and her mother, not standing saying that, that what they did was right or whatever, but she is not cutting them off. I wonder how all that's going to shake out because Eugenie is taking a whole different route and absolutely refusing to talk to her parents while Beatrice is not doing so. I wonder how this is going to affect the sisters' relationship. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I bet y'all probably don't think much of it, but it definitely is an interesting little twist. I had to put it in the podcast. And it is about Beatrice and her husband. It looks like they are having financial difficulties. This particular squatty posted this. This is a repost, and the original post posted an article from the Fail that says not to be. Andrew's son-in-law suffered blow as beach development goes into administration. Now, in administration like bankruptcy, y'all tell me in the comments, but I think that is what it means. And do y'all think that this was the beach development that they were having in Portugal? Y'all remember when they had this whole big thing that Harry and Meghan was getting a house in Portugal and it was a new development and all that? Could it be? Could it be? I wonder. And the squatty that posted this said Princess Beatrice's husband, Eduardo Mapelli, company goes into administration. And then the other squatty came in and reposted that and said, I thought being royal and royal adjacent guarantees success. Yeah, I thought so too. At least that's the lie they love to tell on Harry and Meghan about their success. It looks really, really sus that the other ones are not having equal success using their titles. It's as if none of what they're saying is true. It's as if all of them are full of bullshit, isn't it? I'm just saying. Just something out there I wanted to put out there. Just a little tidbit. And I'm going to put this up. And this squatty is posting about Zara Tindall. It says, oh, so Zara Tindall is out here making money promoting jewelry. Is any money going toward charity? Yes. Y'all remember they wanted Megan to give all her money to charity from her business that she created out of whole cloth. Now, Zara is just out here peddling jewelry. She's out here just making money using her position. using the fact that she is royal adjacent in order to make money. But it's all right for her. It's all right for everybody except Harry and Meghan, who goes out of their way not to use their royal connections or their titles when they are conducting their business. But yet and still, they're successful, but they want you to try to believe that it is all because they are royals. And we know it is plenty of those royals who have royal titles, who have no qualms in using those titles, and they still go flippity, flippity flop. And lastly, I want to put this up. Miss Son Harriman posted this yesterday, and I didn't include it in my podcast yesterday because I just didn't have room, but I wanted to make sure I put it in my podcast today. And it's Harry, and it's him quoting the Invictus poem from, I think by William, I think he said William Ernest Hensley, and it says, I am the master of my fate and the captain of my soul. Harry embodies that in every way you can imagine. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next time. Bye.